All right. Wow. Thanks for staying with us. Now, according to CBNC, thousands of Brits gathered outside Buckingham Palace in the pouring rain following the news to pay their respect. Now, the Queen, whose 70-year reign spanned the aftermath of World War II, the winding down of Britain's vast empire, the 2016 Brexit vote, and a global pandemic had come to symbolize a rare constant in a world of constant change. She is succeeded by her eldest son, who is now proclaimed King Charles III, hours after her death. Now, how do you think, with all these massive things that we rolled out, 6.6 billion acres of land, 16 countries, I mean, she has so many things. She has swans in her name, dolphins in her name, everything in her name, right? She has so much, I mean, she wields so much power. So how do you think her death would impact the British economy, right? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. So I cannot wait to bring in our guests, but I want to just quickly hear your thoughts, ladies. Uti, you know, yesterday we were talking and you made mention of how currencies will change, so many things will change and all of that, you know, so, but do they really need to change all of those things?
Yes, they do. So, I mean, you're changing. You have to think of it akin to the end of an era. So, if you look in the past, they would say the Elizabethan era for Elizabeth I. So, this is essentially the end of an era. We're coming to the reign of a new king, and there are a lot of things that go along with that. So, you know, we mentioned some of them yesterday, which are the more obvious ones, which is the notes, the coins, the stamps, but it goes beyond that. So even when you talk about stamps, for example, her cipher is on a lot of things. So every post box, for example, in the UK carries the cipher. The cipher is you probably see it on the notes, the crown with the E to R on it. The king is going to have his, of course, so it will change. Now that cipher is on the post boxes. Passports will need to change. So like we saw in the video, she doesn't need a passport, she doesn't need a license, because those things are issued in her name. So the passport says in Her Majesty's, you issue the bearer access, you know, grant the bearer access. So those kinds of things need to be changed. Uniforms, all the police helmets carry the regnal number, which is the 2. They all carry it. Those will eventually need to be changed. Military uniforms also carry it. Okay. A lot of uniforms, in fact, carry it. Either the complete cipher,
all I can see is money,
the regnal number.
So when I can start business, because
exactly.
There's
so
a lot of
when you think about the cost, right? These are some of the costs that are going to be affected. Of course, we talked about things like the national anthem, which will already be changed, but then even names of organizations. So it was Her Majesty's Passport Office, it was Her Majesty's Armed Forces. Wherever that is printed, all of that needs to change because it's now His Majesty's Passport Office. So these are all things that all have economic, financial, and economic implications. The cost of her burial will also be borne by the nation. The cost of his coronation, because yes, he's declared king, immediately she passes, because there cannot be a gap. But the official coronation will probably happen sometime within the next 1 year. Again, that's going to cost money. So all of these things all add up to cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. The ballpark figure now is somewhere between 1.6 to 7 billion dollars is what it is believed that her death and passing is going to cost the UK.
It is
so
well.
That's a lot of money.
NJ, should we just move on to our guest?
My dear, with all this information, how can you ask a question like that? You already know how it's going to affect. And then she mentioned a couple of things, you know, on the passports and the fact that the stamps and all the seals have to change. That already brings about immigration issues.
But that is also revenue for people.
No, it is.
It's with time though. So I mean, it won't all be done
at once. No, definitely.
It will be slowly phased out. But let me bring in our guest, right? Pastor David Akande is currently the senior pastor of Havers Community Church in Bishop Stortford, Hertfordshire, England. David he's lived all his adult life in the United Kingdom, trained as an engineer. He, however, pursued a career in product marketing and project funding. he started his pastoral work as church pastor of all-white church in Essex. David was also responsible for setting the UK central office of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in the UK and was the first administrator of that office. Now, David is married, a father, a grandfather, and has written a number of devotional booklets on the Psalms, including Shelter, a personal reflection on Psalms 91. And he's joined us live from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much, David, for joining us. Or should we call you Pastor? Are you there?
David. Call me David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us.
David. It's a privilege to be with you, with the ladies. I wish I was wearing green, actually.
Don't worry, we're together. We're together. You know, so it's quite interesting that, first of all, thank you at short notice you were able to, you know, make out time to speak with us tonight. But you know what? Let's first of all feel the mood of, you know, what is going on currently in the United Kingdom. I mean, the Queen has passed. There's a lot of gathering. You know, I saw so many reports online, but you are there in the United Kingdom. So you tell us firsthand what's happening, you know, how is the mood generally?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll start from my home. My wife lost her mom earlier this year. And when she got up this morning, she said, "Oh, darling, why do I feel exactly the same way when Grandma passed away?"
Oh, wow.
Now, that is actually the kind of impact we have. For my wife to feel just like she felt when her mom passed away is very interesting. And we all feel we have lost somebody. That's a very strange thing. Many of us never met her or saw her or even was anywhere near her, and yet she had that kind of impact on us. And so that is the overall impact to black, white, every manner of people. She just had that impact. And so the question is, why would any one person have such an
wield
impact
so much power? Yeah.
Yes. I think we could say actually is maybe because she did not say anything to anybody that was offensive. I guess if she was a politician, would have an opinion. But because she had that capacity, at least in the public domain, not to be someone who antagonizes anybody, who has only like one of the politicians said, she showed a good side of who we are. Now I can be nice for a few hours, a few days maybe, but to be able to do that for 70 years, that's something. And I think that's how white people are responding in that kind of way to her. Even those who are not, who are Republicans, everybody feels that we have lost somebody very, very wonderful.
Well,
I keep saying that our queen has gone to see her king.
yes.
But she was actually a very, very devoted Christian. But you didn't push it on everybody's face. But she was quite devoted.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I mentioned yesterday, you know, he had passed in 2021. So, and I don't think she ever recovered from that because he was her true love. He was her confidant. He was everything, right? But let's talk numbers, because today we're asking this economic situation, because when I saw that video that was talking about her assets and everything that she has, right? I mean, you listen to Uti talking about, you know, how a lot of things are going to change, you know, in the British economy, you know. So how do you see this death, right, of the Queen impacting the economic state of, so you know how we change power in Nigeria, and investors come in sometimes, or some investors run away, depending on the mood. So do you see this bringing positive investment into the United Kingdom, or do you see maybe some kind of like investors saying, you know what, I ain't dealing with this anymore?
Yes, I'm going to answer that question in two bits. The first bit is, let's talk about the immediate. Yesterday in Parliament, um, we talked about injecting 150 billion pounds into to give to people and businesses to help us with our energy crisis or cost of living crisis. 150 billion pounds, which we're going to borrow, essentially. That's during the whole of the pandemic, we spent about 70 billion, so it's double. And guess what? Today, nobody's talking about it. Because whilst they were doing that debate in Parliament, the news began to get across. The politicians knew more than we did, actually, that the Queen was going and gone. Everything was just put into perspective. Everything has been left to one side whilst the nation mourns. Nobody is talking about, because by now we should be scrutinizing the 150 billion, who is having it, where we're getting it from, but nobody is interested. Even those who still have to pay their bills on 1st of October, when the energy prices goes up, nobody's talking about it, because somehow it's as if everybody's lost somebody. So that's an impact, and I don't think anybody else could have that kind of impact who have died and have that kind of impact in the country. But moving forward, I have a feeling that because of the way we do things here, because things are already set in place and they're orderly, I think investors will not even notice any difference, because everything will go smoothly. Nobody is saying that it's not Charles. Nobody is saying that they own some money. The Queen owes them some money and he has to pay. Everything will work smoothly, and
Oh wow! I think we lost him. It's quite interesting that he has that, because really, Uti, that's the power of structure.
So
But you know what? Let's quickly go on a very short break. When we come back from the break, I want to hear your thoughts. What you were about to say. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, so you just tuned in. We're discussing, Queen Elizabeth II's death, her passing, and the impact on the economy. And we have with us, Pastor Akande. We hope we'll be able to bring him back, David Akande. Now, remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. All right, so Uti, you were going to say something quickly before.
So, it's about the power of the institution. So watching that video, right, it talks about so many different things, her assets, what she is, and all of that. But the most important thing to note is that the institution, the monarchy itself, exists. NJ was saying when he was playing that, is it about her or whoever is in that role? So there is the fact that, yes, it's about whoever is king or queen. But she has been in that role for 70 years.
So long.
She's been in that role for so long that she has embodied the role. So when you think of the monarchy, you just assume that England will always have a queen, right? So she's embodied that in its entirety, that the way you think of it now, you just go, like I said yesterday, it's intertwined. It's like she's part of the DNA of the United Kingdom.
They might mistakenly call the next person queen.
So
70 years is a long time.
It's a long time. So I mean, I think I was reading somewhere where it said that I think 13 out of every 14 Brits were born during her reign. I mean, I think 15 prime ministers. It's about 13 or 14 American presidents. I mean, it's just it's a life.
But she's seen it all.
The reason why, and I think that's what David was trying to say. The reason why she's embodied it is because she did it with so much poise, so much grace, so much selflessness, that you know, if you think about the way she came to be queen, her uncle abdicated. It was a very scandalous something. That's how her father became king, and then he passed. So she brought in stability. She came in, she was monarch, I think, during Second World War. She went through that transition of the British Empire contracting, becoming smaller. I mean, the Commonwealth existed before she became queen, but she really has been the head since it's been in place. So in managing all these things, all the work they're doing, the charity they're doing, as much as people were complaining, because part of the reason why they started paying taxes was the bill, right? So I think they cost the UK government somewhere around 86, the royal family, the monarchy cost the UK government around 86 million pounds. And I remember when that argument was really heated, and I used to say to people that they may cost you 86 million, but what do they bring in
to the
revenue,
table? Yes.
in tourism, in everything? I mean, the woman is worth about $500 million, as from what I could see in last reports. That's not small money, you know. But even in being worth that much, she was also loved because she moved with the times, right? When the conversation started to be loud about they were costing too much money, she said, okay, this 86 million that we will pay taxes. They started paying taxes. When there was a shortfall in the household of maybe how many millions of dollars or pounds, they foot the bill, right? And she's been moving with the times in terms of modernizing. I mean, I know a lot of things have been trending on Twitter in the last 24 hours about the atrocities, the this, the that. There's been a lot said about the family, no doubt. She has weathered many scandals in her time, from her children, their spouses, all of that. But she's also always done it with grace. So you almost want to separate her from whatever is happening and say, this woman, you're sort of faultless, you're sort of blameless.
Absolutely.
You know?
And even if you look at it now, in the lineage now, is likely they might not have another queen for a very long time, because, I mean, it has to be king, because look at the lineage now. Three lines of kings already on ground.
Unless anything happens.
Except something happens. But I think we have David back. David, sorry we lost you for a minute.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so I don't know. I liked where you were going with that conversation, where you said you might not see it having any impact because there's already a good structure, which is 100% true. This is one of the problems that we talk about when we are bringing it back home to Nigeria. We say that, regardless of who sits on the seat, maybe as the president and all of that, if we had a structure, nothing should actually technically suffer, right? So you see that structure impacting positively because there won't be any major shakeup. That's what I hear you say. So you can go ahead with that thought.
Yes. Exactly. And that is where we need to learn something. The ability to recognize that you don't get there and change everything, and everything will go slowly and move methodically. By the way, one of the interesting things about the way things are done here is that everything you're going to see in the next few weeks have been pre-planned and put in place. They have spent time to say, well, when the monarch goes, when the queen goes, what do we do? And everything will be followed. Nobody will come and bring a new thing because they like it. Prince Charles, King Charles. We have to get used to calling him King Charles now. King Charles is not going to come in and say, well, I'm going to change that was said about what we're going to do. We're going to change it all. Everything has been put down in place because it's been thought through. And I have a feeling that we need to learn from it. Now, in terms of investment and money coming into the country, I think it will increase because people will see that, for example, the whole world is talking about the Queen today. And therefore, somehow, it's a marketing exercise for the British industry, for the British people. We are being marketed, and the marketing and the product is good. They can see how we are moving from one king or one queen to a king, and everything is running. Everybody wants to watch it, and somehow we are doing a very good marketing job. I can tell you, when the King Charles profile or acceptability will increase, because of how the process has gone. He came out of his car this afternoon on the way to Buckingham Palace. Came out to look at the flowers and also to say hello to all the people that have been lining up there since 4 o'clock in the morning. And they were all, you could see the compassion, you could see the way they were all greeting him.
One woman was kissing him. I said, hey,
yes,
try that in Nigeria.
Incredible. You know, I just see the and that is different. I've seen King Charles when he was a prince meet people, but there was something different about it. There was something more intimate, something more. There was a lot of compassion for him and the situation, and that will only help the country as a product. The royal family is an incredible product. It's an incredible asset to that the British have, and they know how to do it. They know how to do it, and that's why I think it will actually help the economy as well.
Okay, so I want to ask. I feel like this question is the elephant in the room, right?
Okay.
We are going through this transition, and you've talked about Prince, now King Charles, and the compassion that he's received. We know in times past, he's also had his own share of issues with the British public, the death of his first wife, all the time and acceptance it took before he was allowed to marry the Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort. And in fact, the fact that the Queen actually was herself the person who said that upon her passing that she would take on that title of Queen Consort. But really now, looking at the future of the monarchy, because they are now the next generation, we're going to see a new era being born. And one of the key things, given that we're talking about the economy, is the cost of the monarchy and the speculation about how this transition may impact the monarchy. So I'd love to hear your thoughts around it, just in terms of the longevity of the monarchy, where you see it going. Do you think that this goodwill is going to follow Charles and Camilla and the generations to come? And financially, where you see them, what you see them being able to do to impact the UK in a positive light?
Yes, very good question. I think one of the things that King Charles would do is probably streamline the royal family more, because I think he's very sensitive to the fact that I don't think anybody else can come. It's almost like if the Queen did it, nobody questioned it. But if anybody else will do some of the things that used to happen, they'll probably begin to question it. And so I have a feeling that because they're quite clever and sensitive in that sense, we'll probably see a kind of streamlining of the expenses. He has already begun to do that already, streamlining the expenses, and it will not be as flash as it was, because naturally King Charles is not somebody who's actually very flash anyway. It's more down to earth than people take it. So it will not be as flash as that, and things will be a bit more streamlined. And he will probably have more. How do I put it now? He will probably have more of a control. He can tell people off within the family a bit more, and more than probably grandma did. So there's going to be a bit more.
Rein them in a bit.
Yes. He is going to. And by the way, I know there's like you said, an elephant in the room. Prince Andrew, like somebody said, and I agree with them, everybody has an Andrew in their family, so or a kind of Andrew in their family. So really, they're not any different from any family, and I'm thank God that they're not. Otherwise, we'll think there was something. They had a different kind of blood. They're not different, and they have gone through everything. But there was a very incredible way in which, in quote, the Prince Charles was rehabilitated back to the favor of the people. They didn't rush it. They took their time. After the death of Diana, they initially got it wrong, but they soon realized that the public, the people, are not going to accept anything less than a real royal recognition of this lady. So they adjusted so quickly, and the way they came through that. So they're very, very as a family, they're very sensitive. They know, they can feel the pulse of the people, and they know how to adjust. Which many of our leaders in don't know what to do. Anyway, let's not go to that. You didn't call me here to talk about.
Don't worry, we are going to bring you to talk about your people. LJ, you had a question?
No. It's Uti, because Uti is very.
Okay, I was just going to ask. Pastor David, please. Me, I want to become importer, exporter of merchandise. You know,
face Ankara. Go and design Ankara and sell it to your people. Yeah.
But hey, I remember every time I visit the UK, I always look forward to going to Madame Tussauds because of the wax images. I mean, I was trying to locate my picture with the Queen and the royal family to put it up and all of that. But hey, a lot of things are going to change, right? So do you see this also bringing in, because I mean, like you rightly pointed out at the earlier part of our conversation, you said that, I mean, or was it Uti that said it? They've been able to attract a lot of tourism, right, to the country.
They have.
Right? They've been able to attract. So do you see, because I see that people would look forward to seeing what the UK would be like under a king, because they've never had that, 70 years of a queen. So I mean, so merchandise, you go and get a mug, get a sweatshirt, get whatever it is,
Exactly.
souvenirs, everything would just be going all over the place. So how do you see this, translating into tourist attraction, and boosting the economy for the United Kingdom?
It's big business, and this is the place to be now. And of course, now that we've done Brexit, they really welcome Nigerians to come and do business here, and everything else. We are very welcome. The Commonwealth is their market now, and really we need the Commonwealth countries need to tap into that and make the best of it. We because the EU, they've turned their back on the EU in a sense. And now we have the Commonwealth, and it's their market and it's their people, and I wish we would will respond a bit more to that. Yes, the business will be there. There will be a lot of course, people who are royalists who are going to have a new set of. They want to update their mugs and their whatever in their houses, and yes, there will be a lot of that, and there'll be a lot of business. But who will get this business is the question. I don't know.
That was why I asked you that question. Please, you are the one there. You have to tell us the links.
Told you, face Ankara. That's the way to go.
One of the things I suppose we have to one of the things that's going to happen is this. I tell you what you need to do. You need to find out who is licensing the intellectual properties of the royal family. That's where we should go and buy the license from. Even those Ankara, somebody should go and find out. Let them get the official license to print their face on an Ankara material, and because it's all licensing, it's big money, and they are going to make that money. They're going to make that money. So there'll be a major licensing of products.
Because I mean, this is not a mourning at all. This is actually a celebration of life. I mean, she's lived up to 96. Well, hey, she's lived up to 96 years. She reigned for 70 years in the history. So this is like this kind of history. It will take a miracle for it to repeat itself. Do you understand? It will take a miracle for this kind of history to ever come by, this lifetime. As in, like, no, but it's a celebration of life. So, and that's why the entire mood. So people are the events, because I understand the burial will be in another 10 so
days.
now it's 9 days from yesterday, right? So do you see like outside of definitely all the heads of states of all the world across the world coming. Is the UK ready to accommodate? If I say I want to pack on my clan now from my village and let us go and witness it, we will collect the visa, don't worry. But can the UK accommodate, can the United Kingdom accommodate if people were coming in, you know, to say we want to come and see this history being, you know, made?
Well, it's never been done before. The number of people that will want to come in has never been experienced for an event or for a season, has never been done before. So, but we have the capacity. Yes, all are welcome. The only thing, I mean, we can't fill the seas to get more land, but there's enough land. We have all the capacity. I think yes, people are ready. You know, they're very ingenious people. In fact, I'm beginning to think if people are going to be coming, if you guys want to come, I'll move out of my house and rent it out to you for 2 weeks.
Correct. Now you're a businessman. But would you have a comment?
So people, yes, it will be very welcoming, and people are, like you said, a lot of people will be coming this way, even long after it, because people want to come and see, and they want to come and see what happened next. So yes, we're ready. You're all welcome.
I think it's going to impact a bit on immigration. Yeah, because you can't go into the UK right now anymore, even if you have a visa, if you don't have a concrete reason to be in the UK, because the security will also be up in the UK, considering the fact that they're expecting a lot of people, both tourists and dignitaries from different countries. So I'm sure that would also impact to some extent. So some people's businesses will be affected because they will refuse you entry into the UK, because I'm sure by now they will start to limit some of this.
So let's ask him.
Yeah. So that's the question I would like to.
Actually, I'm not so sure that is correct.
Okay.
It's a country of law. If you have a visa, you'll be able to come in because they've already checked you anyway. But let's talk about, in terms of terrorism, they know who they're looking for. So they're waiting for them if they try to come. It's as much as, you know, we say it, Britain is actually a welcoming country compared to many other countries, actually. I know there's a lot of criticism and all that, but in terms of people coming in, we've had to change. Have you noticed? Maybe you haven't noticed, but since Brexit, we've had to find friends that will come. We really want you to come. Unfortunately, there's also a bit of brain drain. They're getting a lot of the best brains for Nigeria to come over to Britain now, and that we're having a brain drain in Nigeria. But because we need people. Guess what? It was after Brexit we realized that we didn't have enough people to do the work. Enough people wanted to do the work.
Okay, don't worry, we will send in our application. Kuti, you have a comment?
Okay, so my comment here says, good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? #ways. Queen Elizabeth II's death and the impact on the economy. We thank God for the life the Queen lived. Thank God that her demise will hopefully improve the economy and create room for investment. With King Charles III coming on board to replace the Queen, I hope the Naira and pound sterling would be favorable. Sister Vitia, welcome back with Mr. Ilo. Thank you so much. That's from Daniel Ilo.
Thank you so much. But so, David, if you had one thing to say to your fellow people in the UK, what would you say to them?
Right. Well, for example, on Sunday in my church, we're going to be having a service of song for the Queen, because we feel everybody feels a part of the event, a part of a part of what is going on. And yes, people are going to mourn, but I guess for those of us who are Christians and new have faith, we mourn differently from those who don't know where she's gone. We know where she's gone. We are confident of where she's gone. So we are doing it a bit differently from those who don't know. So I think there will be a big difference between those who have faith and those who do not have faith in the way
All
that they
right.
respond.
So your church again is
Haven Community Church.
Havens Community Church.
all right. So please, for our people, you're in the UK, go and attend a church there. Thank you so much, Pastor
Thank you very
David.
much.
We had
Thank you
an
very much.
amazing time with you. So hopefully we'll bring you back to discuss Nigerian issue. Thank you.
I love it. It's lovely to have you ladies.
All right.
I think you're the best people to be with on a Friday night.
Oh wow! Thank you, Uti. Thank you, AJ. All right. So before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further. Most importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed our quote today, this was attributed to the Queen herself. It says, "I have in sincerity pledged myself to your service as so many of you are pledged to mine. Throughout all my life, my heart, I shall strive to be worthy of your trust. And with all my heart, I shall strive to be worthy of all your trust." This is from Queen Elizabeth herself. We'll see you guys live on Monday at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.